called and asked if I would be the speaker tonight for Relay. I had no idea that it was going to be so huge. This is definitely going to be the biggest relay ever. Yay, yes, it's the biggest relay. There are so many survivors out there, and they asked me. I am so humbled and so honored to be here. For every survivor, there is an army of people, and you are the army that helps them to get through cancer. And I am one of those people.
1 minute.
In 2005, on April Fool's Day, I got the call that we all dread. My breast biopsy was malignant. What followed was 2 months of discovery, a lot of it on the internet, and the first place I went was a website called cancer.org. It's the American Cancer Society website. They could answer so many of my questions about surgery, about chemotherapy, about what I was going to feel and how I was going to look. I ended up having surgery, followed by chemotherapy, followed by radiation. The whole process occupied 8 months of my life, and I learned so much about myself, my family, and my friends here in Barrington, many, many of whom are here tonight. Yay! A cancer diagnosis is both terrifying and enlightening. The terrifying part you can imagine, but the enlightening part is very different. I was enlightened to discover that my fear of chemotherapy was far worse than the reality. The other enlightening part was that my friends were there to help me. They sent cards and flowers. They cooked fabulous meals. They visited and they sacrificed a day of their time to take me to chemotherapy or to radiation. So many people want to do something, anything, to help someone who has cancer. They helped me, but that made them feel good, and that made me feel good, and that helped me to be a breast cancer survivor. So standing here today, I'm a 6-year breast cancer survivor.
Yay!
Thank you. But sadly, that's not the end of my story. Before Christmas in 2009, I hadn't been feeling well. On December 23rd, my family decided I should see a doctor before Christmas. We called a friend from Barrington, Dr. Jim Kane, who is a surgeon. I hadn't called Jim before because I didn't need a surgeon. I had a stomach ache. It wasn't going to be surgery. We went from that morning from wrapping presents and baking to being a patient in the hospital, having a biopsy and possibly surgery. The day before Christmas, they told me they suspected I had ovarian cancer. On Christmas Eve, I went home with my husband, Tom, my daughter, Elizabeth, her boyfriend, Matt, who I can say is now her fiance. And we celebrated Christmas. What a rotten time to find out you have a new cancer. But really, it brought into focus what's important at Christmas. I was always the one overbuying, overbaking, overdoing to make Christmas special. Christmas of 2009 was probably our most special Christmas that we ever spent because we spent it just being together. This was a far more serious cancer for me than my breast cancer. I had surgery on December 29th. I had stage 3C ovarian cancer. And all of you who have had cancer have some idea what that means. Our lives were forever changed. In the winter of 2010, I went through 12 more rounds of aggressive chemotherapy. With the help of Tom and Elizabeth and Matt, my family, and again, my friends in Barrington, I got through it. I finished chemo in May, and we heard the words we never thought we would hear. I was cancer-free. I got my old life back. I got back to walking the dog, playing golf, traveling, and volunteering. Unfortunately, this past April, through routine testing, we found out my cancer was back. So I am currently in chemotherapy. To the survivors who are here tonight, I say, fight on, because we are the new statistics. We are the ones that are going to change the statistics and make those survival rates go up and up and up. And we are going to celebrate more birthdays. And to the caregivers tonight, I say to all of you, we could not do this without you.
Yay!
Especially for me, Matt, and Elizabeth, and Tom. I couldn't have done it without them, I know that. And to those of you who are here tonight as part of a team, as donors, or just to experience Relay for Life, thank you for your support for Relay and for the American Cancer Society. A smile, a card, a meal, words of encouragement to say I'm thinking of you, I'm praying for you. Those are the things that make us keep fighting harder and harder and keep us wanting to celebrate more and more birthdays.
Thank you very much, Sue McGrath, for sharing your story. Can we please get a round of applause for her? Thank you very much.